Have you ever felt down or unmotivated without knowing why? What if I told you that the architecture and design of your home could be contributing to your negative emotions? In this video, we'll go over 5 reasons why the design of your home might be making you feel sad. I'll be using information from the field of architecture, design psychology, and common sense to figure out how we can make our home as happy and inviting as possible. Hi guys, I'm BaiXu. A few years ago, I graduated as an architect from University of Cambridge, and now I specialize in residential design. On this channel, I share all the design knowledge that I know in order to make our homes really nice. So I hope you'll stick around. When given a choice, we will always gravitate towards rooms that are lit from 2 sides of the room rather than one. Therefore, if you live in a home where every single room is only lit from one side, you might not realize it, but it's probably making you feel a little bit sad. This is a pattern that everyone can kind of feel inside but never really vocalized it. But once you point it out, you don't stop seeing it everywhere. If you don't believe me, try out this observation for yourself. Go take a tour around other people's homes, some public buildings, your office, and I think you will find that the rooms you find the friendliest and ones that has the most natural light where you want to stay are lit from more than one side of the space. So why is it that we prefer to stay in rooms that are lit bilaterally? Rooms that are lit from 2 sides have less glare. The light that comes into the space feels much more natural. However, in a room where it's only lit from one side, there's higher contrast between the bright area of the room and the dark area of the room, and it feels just a little bit more claustrophobic when you're inside. For example, look at this image. The light gradient on the walls and floor inside this room is very steep, so the part that is furthest from the window is uncomfortably dark compared with the part that's near the window. So many houses and apartments are guilty of this, and even really famous architects do this to the buildings that they design. One example is Le Corbusier's Marcel block apartments. Each apartment is very long and relatively narrow, and it gets all its light from just one end. So these rooms are really bright only at the windows, and they're dark everywhere else. What can you do about it? No matter how clever architects are with a plan, sometimes it's just impossible to design rooms with windows on multiple sides. So in these cases, the rooms can get the effective light on 2 sides under 2 conditions. First, you can have a shallow room with multiple windows. The light can come in and it bounces off the back wall, bounces sideways between the windows, and this can produce the effect of multiple light sources. Another option is to build a room with extremely high ceilings. Elizabethan dining halls and Georgian living rooms were often built like this. If you already live in a building where the space is built and you can't change the architecture or install extra windows, then there's not much you can do. But you can take this rule into consideration when you search for your next home. Look at this photograph. Just look at it. It's horrible. If your room is lit up like this, it's depressing as fuck. Uniform lighting like this is not designed for the feelings and emotions of human beings. It's made so we can stay in the office, stay awake, and work like machines. Lighting like this makes the light as flat and even as possible in a mistaken effort to imitate the sky. But this is wrong for so many reasons. The light that we're trying to mimic outside is almost never even. The light that we feel most comfortable in outside in nature is dappled with areas of shadow and light that is constantly in flux and moving and changing in intensity, and that is so beautiful to be under. This is great, this is not. How we use the space socially is also defined by pools of light. You need to use light to create zones for people to gather around in. You can observe this phenomenon everywhere. In restaurants, reading corners, in the perfect armchair, the dining table in your home. Here are some comparisons to really highlight what I mean. So here are 2 photographs from different restaurants. As you can see, one restaurant has very bright light that's kind of evenly lit everywhere. Another restaurant has pools of light above each dining table. Now, which one do you think feels more comfortable and that you would prefer to be in? And here is an office waiting area, one with uniform light and one with pooled light. Here is a dining table with a nice pool of light versus a dining table with uniform light at night. I think the images speak for themselves. You can exactly see what I mean. So, if your home doesn't feel so cozy at night and is feeling a little bit sad, what can you do? Switch off the big ceiling light in your space, create about 5 to 7 different light sources in a single room, and just dot them all around your home depending on which zones you want to create. For example, in the living room, you can have a zone for your sofa, a zone for your armchair, some accent lights in the form of candles on the coffee table, a lamp next to the shelf, maybe some wall light or accent light.
So I'm going to show you two different spaces on the screen, and as we're going through it, I want you to have a think about which one looks more inviting and happier to you. Is it the left? Is it the right? Is it picture number 1 or picture number 2? Do you see what makes the biggest difference? So sometimes whether a room makes you feel sad or not can be as simple as the color temperature it takes on, whether it's warm or cold. It'll be overly simplistic to say colors like reds, oranges, and browns are warm colors and colors like blue, green, grays are cold colors. Because we can still feel very happy and comfortable in rooms that are painted blue or green. So what is the explanation for this? After all, the sky is blue, the grass is green, and we're pretty happy to spend time outside in the sun, right? It's actually very simple and very fascinating. It's all depending on the color of the light in the space. So imagine you're sitting in a perfectly white neutral room. There's afternoon sun streaming through the windows, and it's warm and it's yellow, and it makes the whole room in a yellow-orange light. Now imagine the same room getting light around 6-7 o'clock in the evening. That room feels much less comfortable now because the color of the light makes the whole space feel cold. So if you're not quite sure what color light your room has, get a piece of white paper and see what color it reflects off it. The color of the light has one of the biggest impact on your emotional happiness in the room. And in the evening, the color temperature is not affected by the sunlight or the surfaces, but rather it's affected by the color of your light bulbs. I'll make a video in the future about how to design a comfortable and cozy space using the right lighting conditions and light temperature, etc. So make sure to subscribe to stay updated on my future videos. It's not as simple as just making sure the room has enough direct sunlight. Because for example, if you have a space that receives a lot of direct sunlight, but the building right outside your window is black or gray, the color that reflects off this building and then comes into your home would be a cold light. So in conclusion, choose surface colors and finishes and furniture that all create overall a warm color temperature in the room. That way you cannot go wrong. If you're 100% that your room gets enough yellow light throughout the day and your floor and your furniture are all in the shade of very warm wood, then you can probably be a little bit more adventurous with the color of your decor and the wall paint, and you can make them blue or green or gray. But if you're not sure about this, stick on the safe side and go with warmer toned colors. Trust me, you'll feel much happier in your home like this. And this brings us to the next point in the video. So don't ever rent or buy a property where all the rooms only ever face north. You will regret it. It will make you feel so sad all the time. The light that comes into north-facing rooms will always be cool, and you have to do a lot of color correcting with the furniture, the paint colors, the fabrics to warm it up. And another thing is that lack of sunlight hurts your feelings. Okay, let me say it in a slightly more scientific way. Sunlight is essential for the production of mood-regulating neurotransmitters like serotonin and hormones, and when we're exposed to less sunlight, our levels of serotonin and melatonin can decrease, and this normally leads to symptoms of depression and other mood disorders. Unfortunately, the solutions I have here for north-facing rooms are quite limited because you cannot really easily change the direction of the sun. It rises in the east and sets in the west, and there's not much I can do to change it. Synthetic materials have become increasingly popular in our homes due to their affordability and versatility. Good news for capitalism, bad news for our happiness. According to a study published in the Journal of Environmental Psychology, natural materials such as wood and stone can help promote a sense of calm and relaxation, while synthetic materials like plastic and metal make you feel uncomfortable and more stressed. And this is totally true. We, as humans, love to be surrounded by nature, and if your home feels like the antithesis of anything that's natural, over time you will get a little bit sad. Nothing is perfect and everything is perfect. Trees can be contorted, bent in weird ways, and they're still beautiful. One theory is that being in nature can activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest and relaxation, and this can lead to a decrease in our stress hormones such as cortisol and an increase in our feel-good hormones like serotonin and dopamine. So, when we isolate ourselves in homes that look like spaceships and hospital corridors where everything is artificial and too shiny and too uniform and too perfectly made, we feel depressed. Look around your home. What are you surrounding yourself with? What is the furniture made out of? What is on your floor? What objects do you use every day that you hold in your hand? Do you have any plants and flowers in your home? Does your room more resemble Legoland that's filled with plastic furniture and unnaturally bold colors? Or does it look like a snapshot from the forest full of soothing calm wood and natural leafy greens? Always furnish your home in colors that are reminiscent of nature, like colors of the forest and the beach and the ocean, because we will never tire of being surrounded by these colors. And decorate the surfaces of your home, your furniture, the decor, everything you pick up and see in materials that can be found in nature. For example, instead of getting a glass and metal dining table, get one that's made out of wood. Instead of using vinyl on your floor, maybe go for wood. I think basically you can't go wrong with wood. Apart from wood, there are other natural materials that you can use to make your home really nice. So like stone, marble, clay, cork, leather, linen, jute. It feels just natural and organic, like you're connected with something that's wholesome and good. So I want to just quickly have a look at some apartments to show you what I mean about using artificial materials and organic natural materials. So this apartment looks in photos really fun, creative and playful, but I don't actually think it is the best place to live, because everything feels too artificial. The bare white walls, all of the plastic furniture, the super saturated colors that you don't find in nature apart from in poisonous animals and poisonous plants. There's a difference between homes that pop on photos and look good in social media versus homes that you actually want to live in and feel good in. And unfortunately, I think a design like this, it is made to be a fun design exercise, but you will get bored of the decor very, very quickly. So now let's compare it with this alternative home that's on the same design website. You can see immediately that the room feels warm. The sunlight in combination with the wood grain on the furniture, the material and color palette just reminds you of the forest. It's only going to get better over time. I like how even the walls have been painted in a slight shade of cream. I think this is why lime wash paint has gotten very, very popular in recent years, because it has this chalky, unfinished matte and raw effect that makes the walls look a little bit more crumbly. This aesthetic really resonates with people. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope this was useful, and if you like the content, make sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date with future content I make around the same topic of interior design and home decoration. Bye!